Okay, hey everybody, Tekking101 here to review chapter number 7 of Zombie Powder, and my god, I just read it like a little while ago, and this is the game changer. This is most definitely the game changer of the series. That just makes it it's like a little bit like another hurdle just to see more into Gamma's character and where this series is going to go and the potential that it carries, which of course is probably going to stop prematurely because the series is only 27 chapters and we're already 7 down, so we got 20 chapters left. But just the potential that this carries is insane. So let's dive right into it. I have to use it on my phone this time because my computer is having issues, of course. Luckily, though, I downloaded all the chapters of Zombie Powder on my Manga Searcher app in advance, so we're all ready to go. So, chapter number 7. So this time we have the B-side Naked Monkeys number 5, and it actually starts off like last time we had the demo version. This time finally answers a question that I've been wanting to know for 2 damn chapters. What the fuck gender is Rainwater Calder? You know, it's just like boy, girl, you know, is he in between somewhere? I mean, this is a weird universe where you have, you know, man-made fountain of youth serum that can make you into like a young boy when you're really like an old man, so why not, right? But no, Rainwater Calder is in fact a guy. Kubo does in fact state, you know, a portion of the female readers are rabid fans of hard-hitting narcissist Calder, as he's called among the fans. I received many requests saying, I want to see him with his hair down. So yay, we get a picture of Rainwater with his hair down. Also interesting, we also get little, this is probably the most jam-packed Naked Monkeys there's probably ever going to be. We also get just little information sections on all the main villains that appeared up to this point. We got a little section on King Cuero, we get a little section on Bakley, the guy that got cut in half by Calder, and we even get a little section on the 2 random thugs that were attacking Elwood in Chapter 2. Their names are in fact Daniel Rubeck and Diren Tobin. I guess, at least you gave them names, Kubo. I have to give you that much. So yeah, we get little, just pieces of information on them. Nobody really liked those characters. You know, they weren't really memorable in my opinion, but yeah. So chapter, I'm going to be looking down this entire time. Usually I just have it right there on my computer, but the internet's stupid. Alright, so chapter starts off with Gamma standing triumphantly after he, you know, basically got beaten down by Calder last chapter. He got knocked into a wall, you know, he was bleeding a little bit. But then after, you know, C.T. Smith realizes, like, hey, wait a minute, he's just using this Phoenix Semen stuff to stay young. Therefore, he's not really a young boy, he's an old man. And Gamma has, like, this weakness for young kids in general and women. Like, he can't hurt women and children. Very simple protagonist restraint there, you know, like, oh, I'm the good guy. I don't really like to, you know, cut up women and children. But, you know, it works for Gamma's character, I know, because we don't really know a lot about him, all told. You know, he's a very mysterious character, even though he's been in this series up to since the beginning. We still don't know very much about him. But, you know, now he's deciding to fight for real, so he switches hands. He's now fighting with his, you know, armored black arm with his chainsaw sword. Like, this is like the maximum kill factor he's got going on here. We get the chapter, track number 7, BLACKFIRED. I almost said backfired. It's BLACKFIRED. That'll make sense in a second here, I guarantee you. So, you know, they're standing at each other. You know, they're like, oh, okay, well, Calder's like, you know, it doesn't matter if you switch arms. I don't care. I'm still faster than you. I could still use my Jet Ripper. You know, I'm the freaking spin boy. I can just go sending at you like the speed of sound, you know, striking you with my sword. It doesn't matter if you're using your right arm. You're still going to lose. So they attack again, but he attacks again, but it's very freaking apparent, that Gamma's going to win this, because now it's not even like a contest. Like before, Gamma was like, I would say it's like an even match between him, just because Gamma couldn't move as fast as Calder could, and he really couldn't read his movements, so he was able to block the attacks, but he was only able to block them like at the very last second, like right before Rainwater connected with Gamma. He was able to like hold up his sword and just kind of block it, and that's why it ended up like he was just getting thrown around the room, getting knocked into walls and shit. But now that he has his right arm, which I imagine would give him an insane strength boost, it doesn't matter how fast Calder is going, you know, even if it is the speed of sound, which I highly doubt he's moving that fast, but even if he was moving that fast, I'm sure with the armored right arm, you know, this is the thing that can block a freaking tank mortar and just crunch it up and like drop it like it's a freaking crumb, you know. I'm pretty sure it can, you know, resist the speed of sound movement. So, you know, they attack a little bit more. Gamma's like, I have no reason to stay easy on you for now. And Elwood and CT are just watching like, holy shit, Gamma is the goddamn Batman. I mean, seriously, look at this. He's Batman. That's freaking awesome, Kubo. You know, we need to see Ichigo doing this kind of acrobatic shit in Bleach. I mean, really. I mean, the closest we ever got was in when he invaded the Vondentain. You know, he was all like stoic and angry. You know, when he when he saw Byakuya fall down. You know, that was the closest thing we ever got to Ichigo looking actually serious and foreboding in the last couple chapters. I mean, in this arc, I should say. And this time, you know, this is just really awesome art design. So Calder tries out a different method. He, instead of attacking like the way he does now, like normally he would just like have his Jet Ripper with him, and right before, I guess, when he's in the middle of a swing, he'll hit the switch, and then that'll send him like flying like whatever insane breakneck speed and directly into Gamma's direction. But this time he's trying out something different. So instead of doing it when he's swinging, he stabs the Jet Ripper into the ground, and then he initiates the trigger, which sends him backwards and like up a wall, like in a freaking like more Matrix stunts, I should be saying. So that sends him up on the ceiling, and now he's like, okay, I got, I guess this room has to be fucking gigantic. It has to be like an arena. I mean, I guess they're still in the torture room, but the torture room, the first time we saw it, was pretty small, and now it's like a giant battle arena, because you can't be spinning around this entire place. I mean, the whole place would be like, Calder would have smacked his head off the side of the wall and got a concussion. That would have been annoying. Like, you cannot hope to win against my Jet Ripper. Oh fuck. That's bound to happen at some point. I lost my beanie, whatever. You have to deal with my messed up bedhead. All right, so this is the point in the chapter where, no, okay, this isn't the point, but it's getting there. So he's up on the ceiling, he thinks, okay, I have an aerial advantage now. I'm gonna just attack Gamma from the other side, like he's now like behind him. So goes at right behind him. Gamma literally, like this like I have a very sensitive shoulder. Like if I tried doing this, my shoulder would probably get popped right out of its socket. But basically, think of this perspective, okay? So Rainwater is not only up in the air, he's also behind Gamma, attacks him from this angle with his Jet Ripper drawn. Gamma, with his sword still in like his one hand, like he was guarding in the front, because this whole thing happens in like a matter of like a second or two because he used the Jet Ripper. Gamma literally just reflexively just fwing, just blocks his sword like that, and yeah, once again, that would have popped my shoulder like clean out of its socket whenever that thing struck. But I guess going by the fact that Gamma has like the metal plate extending way up onto his face, I mean, we haven't really seen him without his shirt on, so I mean, I'm assuming the armor extends like past his shoulder, up his neck, and just covers this entire part of his face, which of course would include his shoulder there, so that's why he can resist that. But not only does he block the attack, he hits Calder so fast, who I remind you is going at his insane spin boy speed. He hits Calder so fast and so hard, it actually repels him and sends him flying into the other side of the freaking building, when the whole idea of the Jet Ripper was that to prevent shit like that from happening. And Gamma, once again, he stands up, looks all triumphant. He takes off his left, like his jacket on the left side. I guess it's still on the right side. So his left side of his arm, the one that isn't armored, and we see this really wicked tattoo on his left arm. And he's just like, "This, you cannot win against me." And after seeing this, like Calder drops his fudge at seeing this. Like, he looks at this tattoo and he's like, oh shit, that's the thing that means that he's done this. And we get a little bit of exposition here, thanks to C.T. Smith, who might actually turn out to be the exposition Otron during this entire series. I'm not sure, like, oh, Elwood, you don't know what this means. Well, in an ancient society, something like that. So, Elwood, of course, has no idea what this tattoo means. Calder's freaking out over it. He's pissing his pants. Smith finally describes what it is. And I'm going to just read this word verbatim so I don't miss anything. This is the mark of the successor of the Karin Zanjutsu. And Carlos like, Karin Zanjutsu? What does that mean? He's like, yeah, it's an ancient sword style from the East. The East. Okay, once again, it's a Western series, so they're referencing, like, other cultures. Like, okay, if the series would have continued, there might have been a point, like, this is my Full Metal Alchemist. You know how in Full Metal Alchemist, throughout the entire course of the series, we learn about not only Amestris, the main country that the characters are in, but we also learn about the other countries. We don't really get to see inside of those other countries, but we're still aware of their existence. So, he doesn't actually expressly say a specific country or continent where he's talking about here, but he just says it's from the East. And it's a killer sword technique in the same class as the Crimson Cloth 100 style. Crimson Cloth 100 style. I don't know if that's like the highest grade of sword style that's in their continent that they're in right now, or maybe that's just another well-known attack. Maybe we would find out about that later. I hope we would find that, like what was that called? The Crimson Cloth 100 style technique. That needs to be explained. That sounds really badass. And we get like an exposition of like, people practicing this style in the background. And it says that only 2,000, in the history of 2,000 years since this Karin Zanjutsu has been invented or been in practice, practice, only there's only been 15 people, 15 that have been able to master this in 2,000 years, and each one of those 15 people took 32 years. So half of your life, I mean, you gotta figure, you can't practice this technique when you're like an infant. So you would imagine, like, even if you, at the age of like 5 or 6, started like, were being taught by this master of Karin Zanjutsu in order to breed you to learn it. If you start at like the earliest possible age possible, if you're like Gohan from DBZ and you learn how to fight at like age 4, you still wouldn't master this until you're 36. That's half of your life right there just devoted to this one kind of style in order to master it. However, that's under normal circumstances. You might be thinking like, wait, well, Gamma's, I mean, in the last chapter, in one of the Naked Monkeys, in fact, that he was only 22. How is he able to learn this? That's because he mastered this sword style 4 years. 4 years. That's like, there's a martial arts style. I might be butchering the name here. It's a Brazilian style martial art. It's called capoeira, or capoeira. It starts with a C. I'm probably butchering it. I'm sorry anybody that knows about it. It's an advanced form of martial art that involves not the use of your hands but your feet. So Sanji from One Piece, or L from Death Note, they used a variation of this capoeira. Anyway, it's a very advanced form of martial arts, and I think some of the masters of this martial art won't even teach you it unless you master like other unless you've proven that you could master other major really important arts like in Kung Fu and Karate and Taekwondo before they even attempt to teach you, you know, this capoeira stuff. So I would imagine this is in the same class as that. Like, it's insanely, you know, really exclusive martial art. But Gamma was able to master it in 4 years. Now, that's all the information we get on that. We don't know exactly why Gamma was able to master it, you know, what special technique he used, if any, if he was just inherently a genius with it and involved his black right arm, if it involved, you know, his past at all, you know, what, like, specific thing, like who taught it to him. We do get a little bit of more exposition, though, because Colver starts freaking out now, and he starts charging at Gamma, like, no, okay, no, there's no way you can know that. There's no way you can learn that martial arts, because the last master of that, Karin Zanjutsu, it died with that man, and he doesn't expect, and once again, the plot exposition, you know, you don't say, we all know who I'm talking about right now. You're like, Gamma, you know who I'm talking about. Smith, you know who I'm talking about. I definitely know who I'm talking about, but I can't say his name for obvious reasons, so it's just that man. So, you know, Calder attacks with him, and this is the game changer right here. I want you guys to take a deep breath here. Just deep breath. Just relax here. Okay. Calder attacks. Gamma summons the Amaterasu, Black Fire, from his hand and blocks his sword. Now, I want you just to calm down from that, all right? Now, I called it Amaterasu. It's not called Amaterasu. I don't want you guys to think, oh my god, he's ripping off Naruto. Oh, by the way, Jim, when Naruto gets further up, you're going to learn about the Amaterasu. It's fucking wicked. It's this awesome ninjutsu that this Sasuke's brother learns, and it's... Okay, yeah, I'm just going to stop right there. Anyway, but yeah, so... Breaking the fourth wall much? Alright, so Gamma just spontaneously summons this black fire from his arm. You know, just from his arm. You know, it just comes out of nowhere. He doesn't do any hand signs or any bullshit like that. He literally just, you know, Calder's coming out of him. He has his sword. He just... whoosh, just pops right out of him, and the fire doesn't act like regular fire because it's able to actually block a sword swing. Now, I don't care how fucking hot fire is. I don't care if it's like the flames of hell manifest. Flames are not a solid construct. You cannot block a solid object with fire unless it's like, you know, unless it's like hot enough to actually melt on contact. But Calder's sword is still there, so I wouldn't imagine it's that hot. It's just he's able to just block it with this weapon. It's like the ultimate attack and defense. And Smith goes on to explain that fire represents the sun, and the person that is... it's been told in legend, because once again, only 15 people have mastered this in 2,000 years. It's been told in legend at this point that those who have mastered the Karin Zanjutsu and those that use it in battle are literally surrounded by a black flame of death. And sure enough, not only the flame around his arm, like where his wrist is, the fire also kind of manifests around his other parts of his body. Like, he's basically surrounded, like he can manifest this at any point. So, you know, now Calder, before, you know, he was pissing his pants. At this point, he's just, yeah, he realized he's just fucked. You know, he's done. You can't protect yourself against that, because not only Calder is aware of this kind of martial arts style, but now that he's confirmed that Gamma is in fact a master of it, that he could just summon this fire whenever. Calder, who of course, like Elwood is freaking messed up by this. Elwood's like flabbergasted by this, and he didn't even know what this freaking thing was 2 seconds ago, and now Calder does. So you know, he knows there's no way he's gonna win. He pretty much, I think he tries to retreat in one section here. But you know, Gamma's just like, oh no, you put all this crap, you know, you played us with that ambush, you pretended to be this girl's sister, you tortured all these people, you cut off people's fingers, you're not getting away, spin boy. Karin Zanjutsu, blasting type. So, I want you to follow along with this. Summons a chain of fire that surrounds his sword, like the ripcord from his chainsaw blade, but it also makes it so it's like a chain, like a, you know, like a spinning type thing. He actually extends it, his sword outward, fires it off like a bullet, his entire sword, and goes right through freaking Calder. Sends him flying directly into the other. He like knocks him through a wall, sends him through another wall, flies him into the side of, you know, the compound or whatever. So long, spin boy. End of chapter. And that was Karin Zanjutsu Dragon Cannon, where he literally fires off his entire chainsaw sword as the ammunition for his attack. You know, and just whoosh. Now, Calder didn't seem to be completely cut in half. It looked like maybe there might be like a couple of strands of muscle tissue left holding this douche together. But man, this is wicked, you know, and I expected, like, they're not going to show everything, they're not going to show all the deep dark secrets of this technique, but, you know, clearly there's different variations of, like, the attack. There's also different variations of the, like, there's different, like, types, like he called it, like, blasting type. There might be, like, another version, and there's also, like, different techniques along with the different types. So, you know, you can mix and match these forever. I mean, I don't know if there's different types, like Gamma's going to use in the next chapter. I hope he does. I hope we learn more about this technique, because obviously the potential here is incredible. So, like, how did he learn it? You know, who is this last master that Calder was like freaking out by? You know, how could Gamma master this in 4 years when it's supposed to take 32? Who taught it to him? If it was this last master guy, does it have anything to do with his black right arm? And what's like the complete potential of it? You know, can he teach other people this? This would be pretty cool. But you know, it's a real, because up to this point, I mean, you might laugh at me for this, but up to this point, Zombie Powder has been relatively a down to earth Western type setting. I mean, yeah, they have CDs, yeah, they have chainsaw swords, but there was no magic present. Like, the closest thing to magic we had was the Rings of the Dead and the Zombie Powder, and that was only lore or legend, you know? It's not like you have people going around just, you know, firing off electrical bolts, or like magic is just a well-known thing you just have, you know? The Phoenix Saman that Calder used was testament to that. It was a fountain of youth that was manufactured by mankind, so it was much more of like a scientifically advanced steampunk Western type society. But this is the first time we see like this magic thing can be made manifest, or like maybe not magic's the right word, maybe just like ki, energy, chi, something like that. But, you know, that's the end of the chapter. I'm sure Calder's done. He's out. I'm running a little bit over the time limit here, so I'm just going to end this right here. But what are your thoughts on the Karin Zanjutsu, and what do you want to see done with it at most? Because this, once I said, this is a game changer for Gamma's character. It really is. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to go into a huge exposition about it next chapter. I hope he doesn't. That would kind of ruin the mystery. Like, here's why I can do this. But, you know, keep it a mystery, Kubo, because this is some pretty beast shit. It is. It's the last thing I expected from reading this chapter. Like, last thing I expected was seeing Gamma pull out freaking Amaterasu. Alright, so I'm going to end this, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Tekking101 signing out. Hopefully my internet will be working next time I choose to do a video. See ya.